Hello all my YouTube fanboys and girls, and happy Friday again. Now this video will probably be going up before the server videos. As you can see down below, there's a Dell PowerEdge 1400 SC, which I've made a video of, but probably haven't uploaded by the time I've uploaded this video. Because for today's video, we're going to be doing a secret project. Yes, folks, I have yet another new piece of technology. Well, actually two, but that machine's going to be recycled, unfortunately, because, well, it's a long story. I'll tell you why later in this video, hopefully, if we get to that point. But anyways, here we have a Dell OptiPlex 3010, and this is a machine that I've already done some upgrades to. I got it for free from work, and I couldn't believe that this was going to be thrown out because these are just such nice machines. I mean, here's my OptiPlex 755, which I did a video on when I was, about, I think last year actually. But this machine here is just, yes, the OptiPlex 755 is a nice machine and I'm definitely going to keep it, but its lack of expansion capabilities is what is prompting me to replace it. And also it's an old Core 2 machine, and even though Core 2 Duos, in my opinion, are still perfectly usable, they're becoming more usable as netbooks and net tops than they are, full workhorse machines. So we'll take a look at this machine and I'll just go through the specifications as I talk about it. So on the front you got your DVD-RW combo drive here, TRS jacks for headphone in, microphone in, then you've got, and two USB 2.0 ports here, Dell, Intel Core i3, which I have upgraded to an i5. I took the i5 out of this XPS1, this dead XPS1 over here, so now it has an i5 in it. Then as you can, go ahead and turn it around. This is going to prove to be impossible. You know what, let me just set it on the floor so that way you guys can get a better angle here, better viewing angle here. Alright, so we got 6 USB 2.0 ports here. Surprisingly, it does not have any USB 3 ports. And you'd think for a computer, well, this computer was made in 2013, you'd think it would have USB 3, but it doesn't, which is kind of surprising. But anyways, gigabit LAN, Ethernet, HDMI out, which is nice to have on a desktop. My OptiPlex 755 certainly does not have that. VGA out for all you old schoolers, TRS jacks for microphone in, headphone out, and line in, and then there's your power support down there. This has a Windows 7 Pro license, which I'm going to use to install Windows 10. I'm actually currently making an ISO, a Windows 10 1903 disk on that iMac up there. This is what I'm just doing to pass the time. And we got a little dust bunny there. Get that out of there. All right, so we'll take a look at the interiors. So here's a 250 gigabyte HDD. I did pull the 1 terabyte drive from the XPS1, the dead XPS1, which has a bad motherboard. But for this machine, because Windows 10 doesn't have Windows Media Center, and yes, I realize there's alternatives, I really don't feel like using this as an HTPC right now, so I'm just going to stick, because I don't have a graphics card for it anyways, so I'm just going to stick with the 250 gigabyte drive, and then maybe I'll put the terabyte drive in here at some point, but for now I'm just going to leave the 250 in there. There's your optical drive right there, DVD-RW drive. I believe there's another 5¼ inch bay underneath that. Actually, no, there's not, because that's where the front panel audio and USB connectors are. Here's the RAM slots. You got 2 DIMM slots, which take DDR3 memory. The slot that's currently populated has a 4 gigabyte DDR3 RAM stick in there. Here's your heat sink. Underneath is the CPU. Originally had an i3, but I put an i5 in it. There's your microprocessor power connector, P4 power connector, 24-pin power connector here. You have 4 SATA channels on this motherboard, which I find a little surprising because I don't even think there's room for a second well, maybe there is. Maybe you could fit a second drive in there. There is another SATA power connector there. Gotta love these toolless case designs, by the way. Makes it really convenient to swap hardware. But yeah, you could probably put a second drive in there now that I think about it. So that could use another SATA port, but the 4th one, you can't add another optical drive, so maybe this motherboard was used in a what do they call it? Mini tower version of this case. Anyways, expansion slots, you have a PCIe × 16 here. Of course, all cards have to be low profile, but you know, but you'll notice that there's only PCI Express on here. There's PCIe times 3 PCIe times 1 and 1 PCIe times 16, but no traditional PCI. So this machine is, this motherboard at least, is legacy IO free. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but anyways. There's looks like the GPU there. Looks like just your standard Intel GPU. Not exactly sure what model that is. Can't really see, but then you got your squeaker can there, CMOS battery, and that about oh, and how could I have forgotten the power supply? This is, what's the output on this? 240 volts, 3.5, 90 watts it looks like. So pretty standard for a small form factor desktop PC. I would like to put a graphics card in here. If I can find a decent low profile card to throw in here, I will definitely do it. But anyways, let me go ahead and get this thing hooked up, and then my installation media looks like it's almost done, it's downloading. So then once I burn that, we'll get Windows 10 on this thing. Well, we've already run into a little bit of a snafu here, as with everything in IT. So here are the two Windows 10 images. This is the October update, this is 1903, the May update. Problem is, they're too big to fit on conventional DVDs. I either have to have a dual layer DVD or burn them to a USB flash stick. I don't feel like going to buying dual layer DVDs, and I don't feel like burning to a USB flash stick. So, and I could have sworn I used to have 64-bit 1809 installation media, but somehow I've lost it. So, what I've done was I did manage to dig up this copy. This is Windows 10 RTM. I probably shouldn't show you the product key, but this is Windows 10 RTM. The problem with this is it will not accept the Windows 7 key because Microsoft didn't officially do that until, what build was it, like 1509, 16, something, I don't freaking remember. But, so my thought is, and this key, the key that's on that COA is in use on this computer. So my thought is, install Windows without a key, update it to 1903, and then use the Windows 7 key here to activate Windows. Because I really don't want to go digging through my installation media. So you know what? Let's just go ahead and see if this actually works. And if it does, great. If not, shit. Anyways, let's get this bad boy hooked up and I'll be right back and ready to go. So let's go ahead and switch on here. Move the monitor to a desirable position. We'll go into setup really quickly here because since this machine is currently running Windows 7, which I'm not going to show because you know, it just goes to a password screen and I don't really care what the password is. I don't really want to know. There's probably a bunch of personal information on here, so we're not going to do that. So we're going to go ahead and go to, let's see here. See if there's a way to turn on UEFI. There we go. We want UEFI. And while we're there, let's go ahead and put in our Windows installation media. I need to get a tripod for this, for my phone camera. Oh no. Don't tell me this optical drive is broken. Oh, thank God. Okay. Had me scared there for a second. Had me worried there for a second that this optical drive was actually broken. I was gonna say, don't make me go through my pile of optical drives just to dig up one. All right. We'll see if it'll allow, because Windows 10 should support UEFI. I know Windows 10 supports UEFI booting, as does Windows 8. So let's see if it'll actually boot from the CD, and not the hard drive. May have to do, yep, there we go. Press any key to boot from CD or DVD. Good. All right. I was gonna say, I also wanted this machine because I knew it supported UEFI booting, and that definitely beats Legacy any day. In fact, just because of my bad luck with IT, I've got myself a Yingling here. So every time something goes wrong during this install, grab your beer and take a shot. I'm taking one right now for dropping my Windows 10 installation media. The other problem, actually, I just thought of this. I don't know if Windows 10 RTM allows you to skip the product key. You may have to enter a legitimate product key. I just realized that. I don't believe you can skip. I know in Vista and 7 allowed you to skip the product key screen. But let's see what happens. All right, let me move the mouse here. So, yep, my language is Japanese. We want to install now. And this is where it should ask me for the, okay, yes, right there, skip. Perfect. Okay, that's promising. All right, we want Windows 10 Pro 64-bit because, yeah, so we're just gonna skip the product key for now. Thank God it lets you skip it because, okay. All right, so here's our partitions. So it looks like this is the system the reserve partition. Here is the OS partition, and here's the recovery partition. Okay, we want to leave the recovery partition intact, so we're going to go ahead and format the OS partition. All right, and then we're going to delete it. And now we're going to create a new partition here. What the fuck? Do I have to delete? Oh, you know why? I probably have to delete this too. Okay, so we want to use all the available space. Do I seriously have to delete everything? I can't format the drive. Time to take a shot? I think so. Let me sort this out. But if it was Windows 7, honestly, I really don't care because, you know, Windows 7 is going out of support next year, and although I love Windows 7 to death, it really isn't a huge issue because I've got plenty of Windows 7 disks to install from scratch on this. So, and apparently deleting the recovery partition fixed the error that was saying that, you know, it couldn't be installed because the disk wasn't GPT. So, anyways, we'll go ahead and let this run, and I'll come back when it's finished. Enter the product key. Well, we can't do that because we don't, although I do have a Windows 7 key, which will usually work, it won't work on this build of Windows 10. Anyways, looks like it picked up the driver for my Wi-Fi adapter. So we're gonna go ahead and get on FBI Secure. Don't look at my password. Anyways, all right, password's in. Get going fast. You know what? I'm probably gonna regret this later on in life. I really don't feel like going through and unchecking all the tracking shit, so I'm just gonna click Use Express Settings for now. Yes, I know I'm probably going to hell for this, but whatever. Anyways, hi. We're setting things up for you. Thank you. Let's see. So basically the plan is now, oh, it's doing updates. Well, that's probably because I connected it to the network. So I didn't even know Windows 10 RTM did that. Actually, no, I did, because Windows 8 does that too. When you install, when you do a fresh install of Windows 8 or 8.1 and it detects network connectivity, it gets critical updates as well. So, but basically, yeah, this computer is intended to replace my 755 just because it has a better CPU, more RAM, and quite frankly, a larger capacity hard drive. And besides, that other machine, the other reason is I want to be able to run one of my favorite games from my childhood, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Platinum on here. But the problem is I did try it on the OptiPlex 755 down there, and while it did install, the DVD-ROM drive was the bottleneck. I mean, it was having trouble reading the disc, and so I put a no CD patch on there, and then the graphics performance was just abysmal. So And there's no way, because you can't, that's an ultra small form factor case and you really can't expand those. Like there's no expansion slots on the motherboard, whereas this, you have a PCIe times 16 slot. So at least this I can expand and install RCT3 on. So that's my reason for replacing my OptiPlex 755. I'm not going to retire my OptiPlex 755, but just for right now, I'm just temporarily replacing it with the OptiPlex 3010 here. And in case you want to look up the details, the original specs of this machine, there's the service tag. Manufactured May 23rd, 2013. I was in my sophomore, no, I was just beginning my sophomore year of high school then. Yeah, cause I mean, that was around the time, that was like right around the summer break, right around summer, when summer break started after my freshman year of high school. So, anyways, so the plan with this machine is I'm going to run, once it gets to the desktop, I'm going to run Ninite on it, then I'm going to join it to the domain, and then the update to, I may just do that off camera because, you know, it's sort of boring watching Windows update itself to the latest build. So I think what I'll do is I'll just do that off camera and make an update video once, you know, maybe of activating it, I don't know. I'll figure something out, but for right now I just want to record myself getting the machine, getting Windows 10 installed on here, getting Ninite, and then joining to the domain. And actually I think I'll join to the domain first. So, because the way you join my domain is a little weird because you have to temporarily disable IPv6 because for whatever reason, even though I've checked everything with DHCP and DNS on my server, yeah, all right, yeah, we're gonna say I own it for now just because, okay, I don't want to do a Microsoft account. This is the old Windows 10 setup. Go ahead and type my name in here, type a password, and I'll re-enter it. And for the hint, this is what I like to do, LOL, no hint for you. Yes, that is what I put as my password hints for everything. Because I'm a smart ass like that, so, and I'm evil. So, there we go. Oh yeah, more of this. We're setting things up for you. I thought you just did that. Is it doing updates again? It's been a while since I've used Windows 10 RTM. Oh, setting up your apps, okay. This won't take long, oh, I'm sure. All right, well, when it gets to the desktop, we will install, yeah, you know what, we'll do Ninite first, because you don't have to restart for Ninite, and then we'll join the domain. So, I really wish I had a tripod for my phone, because I really don't have the money to buy a new camera right now, so I'm just using my phone to record my videos, because as you saw from some of my older videos, my old camera sucks, so yeah. I wonder if it says let's start instead of almost there in Windows 10 RTM when it's done setting up your apps. Because like in Windows 10, in modern versions of modern builds of Windows 10, it says instead of let's start like it said in Windows 8, it says almost there. But I don't know if it does that in 10 RTM. I think it says let's start, but how much do you want to bet? Place your bets now. How much do you want to bet it's going to say let's start when this finishes up? Personally, I like the old preparing your desktop from Windows Vista and Windows 7. Although Windows XP, it just said applying your personal settings, and you still had, yep, let's start. There you go. Whoever said let's start wins $1 million. No, not really. All right. Cool, we're at the desktop. All right. And funny, it doesn't even have Microsoft Edge on the desktop like modern builds do. Anyways, so let's do a few things. Let's fire up Microsoft Edge here. You can already see how much quicker this machine is in terms of performance than it was with the Core 2. The i5 is definitely the way to go. So we're going to go to ninite.com. We're going to get some Ninite on here. So we want Chrome. We'll do Qt PDF just because why not? I guess we'll put image burn on here because I don't think Windows 10 has built-in. Do we really need Malwarebytes? I'm not feeling it. VLC, 7-zip. I don't really need the runtimes and .NET because it looks like it's getting the display driver as we speak. We don't need Evernote. Yeah, okay, that's all we need. All right, let's do it. Let's get some Ninite on here. All right, so we'll let this run. An update is being installed. Oh, because I didn't disable OneDrive. Oops. Well, we can fix that. The old UAC. Doesn't even have the full screen prompts. Yeah, let me fix that OneDrive issue, actually. It doesn't even have the black context menus either. All right, so startup. There we go. All right, so now once we reboot, we should not have OneDrive pestering us. So we'll let Ninite do its thing, and then we'll reboot. Well, then we got to join the domain, and I'll show you how I have to join my domain because I think I was saying earlier, even though everything's configured correctly on the DC, everything's, in fact, let me actually do this now while Ninite's doing it. It's actually, yeah, no, it's done downloading, so we can do this. Open Network and Sharing Center, change adapter settings. I believe the IP address of my DC is 10.0.0.85, so we're going to do 10.0.0.85. It's hard to do this with one hand. And we'll do alternate. We'll do 8.8.4.4. Alright. So we'll set that up. See if Ninite's, yeah, Ninite's almost done. So actually, once that finishes, I do want to disable IPv6, but we're not going to do that. Okay, if Ninite's done, great. So now disable IPv6 because that screws everything up when I'm joining my domain. Settings is what I wanted. There we go. All right. And then I believe it's under accounts, unless they changed it. Yep, work access. And join or leave a domain. Join a domain. Domain name is my last name. Kleinberg. Yes, I know it's nearly impossible to type. All right, let me go ahead and put in my credentials really quickly. Don't look. Actually, you can look at me while I put my while I type. There we go. Set my phone down. All right, now you can look. I put my credentials in. There we go. All right, skip that and reboot. Yeah, because for some reason, if I have it joins successfully with IPv6 disabled. But if I have IPv6 enabled, what happens is it'll prompt for my credentials when I type in the NetBIOS name, but then it just says it could not contact the DC. So yeah, but you know, I can enable IPv6 after I join the domain. It's just not before, so it's weird. But you know what? If I can still join, if I only have to temporarily disable IPv6, I'm really not bothered by it. So. Anyways, so we'll let this boot back up. When we get back in, we should be domain joined. any year now. System is broken. No, it's not really broken. There we go. All right. There we go. There's our lock screen. All right. So we're not going to. Yep, it pulled my GPO too, because looks like it's pulling group policy, so that's good. All right, let me log in as myself. I am. That would be me. And it's going to go through the initial setup again. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and, yeah, this again. Hi, we're setting things up for you for the 3rd time now. And I just spit all over the monitor. Look at me. Anyways. All right, so probably going to do the same setting up your apps and crap like that, so, but I at least want to show, well, do I really need to show IPv6 being re-enabled? I mean, you saw how I disabled it, so, anyways, it looks like this project was a success so far. The next step, which is probably going to be done off camera because Windows 10 well, I don't know, what do they call them, anniversary updates, creators updates, major updates, let's just say, or in Apple terms we call them dot updates, but whatever. I'll just do that off camera because there really isn't anything special to updating to a newer build of Windows 10, so I'll just do that off camera. And for now, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.